Hello folks, it's 25th of July, and what time is it now? Must be about, I don't know, I haven't looked at the time. I think it's about 1:30 in the afternoon. Excuse me, I've just had my lunch. This is the front garden. I've just had my lunch round a little sun trap around in the back garden there, but I don't want to be in the sun for too long. So yes, this is Derek Farrell's travel Babelogue, though I haven't travelled very far today, as I'm under strict orders not to overdo it, and I can't drive anywhere. But and funnily enough, I had a stroke about, it's 2 weeks ago come tomorrow evening, and on the same day my car had a stroke as well, but it's been in the garage, my garage, since then. But the EA are coming to pick it up tomorrow to take that in to get some work done, to get that sorted out for me. But here I am. I'm not doing so many live streams as I used to, because of the 4G situation, you know. As right now I've got my head quite close to this screen. I'm just zooming in on a roof over the road there. There was some doves over there, but they've gone. You have to be quick when you're out in nature to catch things. I believe it's America Woods over beyond there somewhere. It's so close I've never found time to go over there yet, as I've been so busy the last 5 years since I've been here. But maybe I'll find some time soon. There's a collared dove there doing a bit of skydiving. I don't know if you've seen that, but I think it might have been off screen, because I was looking at that and not the screen. There you go. But yeah, another reason I'm keeping off the old 4G is because I've got pollinators, you know, bees and butterflies, and there's a lovely moth over there which you probably can't see. One of them little blue ones. Probably it might be only native to the Isle of Wight, that one. Is it a blue capillary? I don't know what to call them really. Well, I'll have to start getting a bit more clued up on all this nature insects and stuff. But yes, all these little pollinators and bees and butterflies and moths and things, you know, they don't want to be too close to this electromagnetic radiation, and there's quite a lot comes off a 4G phone when you're on data. That's why I'm not using it at the moment, because, you know, I had this stroke, and it's not a really bad stroke, but obviously part of my brain was burnt out. That's what a stroke is. And I don't think it's anything to do with the clots, because I haven't got high cholesterol levels. Although they're giving me, I'm on a statin now to make sure my cholesterol doesn't go any high, but these statins are also useful in other ways as well. I'm not on lots of drugs for it, you know. I'm on aspirin, which I finish taking that in a few days' time, and I go on to another thing, which is another upgraded form of aspirin, which is it's not your same old. It's some kind of capsule. It's a very small capsule. Forget what they call them, but I'll be taking those instead of aspirin soon. But no, I don't think. Well, I could be wrong. You know, I'm not a biologist, but I have been studying a little bit of the biological side of things lately, to do with electromagnetic radiation. And I think it could have been, I could have got this from my phone, or even sitting in front of my BT hub at home, up in my office, which is right next to my laptop. And I was measuring the EMFs the electromagnetic frequencies, which are measured in volts. There where I've got a meter, an RF EMF meter, radio frequency EMF, and I was getting something approaching 9,000 millivolts from that. When I moved away from that, which is on the corner of my desk at the back, to come sort of in front of my laptop, which is next to it, but obviously you move back when you sat in front of your laptop, don't you? And it came down to a couple of thousand. It fluctuates. Came down to a couple of thousand millivolts. And when I moved across the room, it was down to 1,000 millivolts. But that's still a bit high, really, as 650 millivolts is risk level 4, which is the highest, and I reckon nobody should be exposed to that or above for more than 2 hours a day over a period of years or months. So that says it all, doesn't it, really? Look at that sky. Don't know if I'll see if I can focus better. I don't ever can. Let's see. It's a bit of a wispy old clouds. Are these cirrus clouds? I don't know. Again, more learning to be done, I guess. Well, one good thing about this hot weather, it does burn the cloud off, doesn't it? And gets rid of it. As well as causing other disasters. Not a very nice thing happened in Greece, was it, the other day? Yesterday. I guess I'm just enjoying. There's a little butterfly. See him? I just got a bit of it. I've focused on the sky there, so we've gone out of focus down here now, look. So I'll come back in there and back in there now, look. Look at that, right? What you can do with these phones. If you have difficulty focusing when you're taking photographs or vids with your phone, if you don't know about it, some people don't, if you tap on the screen on the subject you're looking at, a white circle will come and you focus into that circle. And that's how you get a better picture, like I just did there. I didn't used to know that, you know. You do learn these things as you go along. So the longer you have a phone and use, you know, the photography, etc., the more you get to know about it. Well, getting back to this microwave radiation, when I was in the hospital, in the strokes unit, I was there Thursday before last. I had the stroke. I was taken in on Friday the 13th, and I was in there right over that weekend. And I was discharged last Wednesday, almost a week ago now, Wednesday evening. I had an RT scan when I first went in, and I had an MRI scan on the Wednesday. I think it was a Tuesday evening. You see, that butterfly probably wouldn't be everyone for me letting all this grass grow. So I'm pleased about that. I will be getting maybe this front area cut sometime soon. And I've got a small lawn around the side, but I've got a bigger lawn up the far back of the house behind the garage. So I might leave that until the autumn, because I don't really need it, the lawn. So, and I much prefer, I mean, a lot of these daisy light flowers have gone now, buttercups, wherever they are, but there's still a lot of them around all the same. Next door's built a fence to keep it all out of these, which is a shame. There used to be an edge across there. But there you go. Progress in it, I guess. See, these edges will be cut very soon. I let them go as well all around the side as well up the road there because of they were flowering. White flowers all over them, you know. It's you've got to let them do the thing, haven't you, really? And they get much healthier. The work, I'd been keeping them pretty well pruned over the years I've been here, and they were getting thinner. I've noticed since I've let them grow more, they're getting thicker again, so I reckon it's a good idea myself. But yes, while I was in the hospital, I had my smog meter in there with me. I call it a smog meter. It measures the EMFs, which in my early days when I was at college studying electrical principles, well, it still is. EMF was the abbreviation for electromotive force. Now it's a similar abbreviation for electromagnetic frequency, isn't it? It's electromotive force is measured in volts, as is these frequencies. They're measured in, well, with volts, but it really should be millivolts, but they're getting up into volts. I mean, 1,000 millivolts is 1 volt. So if you've got like 20 volts coming out of your, well, there was that approaching that, there was 19,000 millivolts coming across from the Cisco internal communications wireless network in St Mary's. They've got these, I don't know if you've been in there, if you look around over the height you'll see these black boxes all over the place with antennae, similar to the antennae that's on top of that LED street light over there. I don't know if you can see that. Let's see if I can zoom into it. It's like a little black twig. I don't know if you can see that, but that black twig, these boxes in the hospital have similar antennae to that. They're coming out top and bottom of these boxes. They're up at the height on the walls, up near the ceiling levels. And there was 2 in the stroke unit ward I was on. And let's focus them back in here. And I measured with my smog meter. I call it a smog meter because, you know, electromagnetic radiation is a smog you can't see. And it's unbelievable, really. I mean, I wasn't up against one of these transmitters. There was one about 2 meters away from my bed, up on the wall. And I was laid in my bed with my meter measuring the radiation levels. And it was fluctuating between 2,000 and 19,000 millivolts. Now that is dangerous. Now the industry say, oh no, electromagnetic thermal radiation isn't dangerous. They constructed all their testing to a different paradigm. There's another paradigm what they should have used, and they still argue it. That's not right. But no, it's dangerous. It's simple as that, you know. And I mean, we've been in this with Wi-Fi and mobile data now for years, haven't we? Everything you took, you know, Bluetooth speakers, you name it. Luckily, I haven't been there, not that far. I've got Wi-Fi in the house. I turn it off every night now. But then we've got 5G, they're going to roll that out in 2020, this government. They've already got test beds up and down the country in 6 different places, legal test beds, but they're also doing it in stealth in various places. Gateshead, I know for a fact, because there's a man up there on the case, Mark Steele they call him. He's already been blocked on Facebook, but that might change, I don't know. But I shared one of his posts this morning, and he's talking about it. He's been delving deep into the situation up there. If you look, it'll be down. If I post this, it'll be underneath it, because I think it's probably the last thing I posted. But anyway, I rang up Bob Seeley's office this morning, and I've made an appointment to see him, but that won't be till September because of various other appointments. And but I also mentioned to his secretary about my experience in the hospital, and she said email him straight away about and with those readings, etc., and he'll get onto that. So I was watching his manifesto, Free Flutterbys. I was on YouTube looking at his manifesto and some of his maiden speech in the House of Commons last night, and he seems very passionate about the constituents on the Isle of Wight here and looking after the island. He's obviously, I think his relatives, isn't it, own Motterson Manor of all places. But he's also a military man as well, Bob Seeley, and I have spoken to him before. I went to see him over about proportional representation. I took a contingent of people with me there several months back now, and I'm doing a similar thing, and I'm going to talk to him about 5G. Obviously the appointment is in the process of being made, but see, 5G is a military weapon. It's phased array microwave radiation. It's a different kettle of fish to Wi-Fi and mobile data, which is bad enough. But and as I say, there's test beds up and down the country. It's all to do with the Internet of Things, smart tourism, smart meters, autonomous vehicles, artificial intelligence in various things from building to farming, and there's different aspects of these Internet of Things being tested now up and down the country. I know the Orkney Islands, they've got a test bed up there, would you believe? There's one in Liverpool, there's one in Bath, that's obviously smart tourism. There's one in Bristol University, I believe, where they reckon the suicide rate in students has gone up recently. Because obviously this electromagnetic radiation does cause neurological problems as well as brain cancers, etc. Neurological problems, you know, this is depression, self-harm. Seeing children walking around with the phones stuck to their ear holes walking down the street. Now, the smaller the brain, the more damage can be done, so children shouldn't be anywhere near this stuff. But at least you can take your mobile off a child, or get her off the laptop or the iPad. You can turn the Wi-Fi off, you can turn your mobile data off. You cannot turn 5G off once that's rolled out, because it's transmitting all the time. All these LED lights, street lights, will become transmitters for it. I mean, what we've got here on the island at the moment, it's a lighting control system. It's wireless, so it can't be any good. LED lights are not brilliant for your brain either, but that's another story. But yes, Mark Steele's spotting it now already. Up there in getting children with nosebleed, which is the first signs of serious damage being done. I'm going to move round to the back of my house, or the side should I say. You see, I've let the garden grow. This is where I have had my lunch, which was a very nice lunch indeed. Two Greek flatbreads with fillings of my choice, which I just did and had for my lunch. Now, the birds won't come down here while I'm sat here. They don't like humans being close to them, so lucky you might catch a blackbird, might come in and have a drink, but that'll be about it, I think. As you can see, the rhododendron there was covered in purple flowers earlier in the summer, and right early spring this year, which is the Forsythia Bruce, that was covered in yellow flowers. That's really gone mad. Everything's going mad around here. But I will be getting it all trimmed back. My friend Dave will be doing that for me, as I've got to take it easy. I'm under strict instructions to take it easy, but I'm feeling okay today. I think I had a decent sleep last night, and that's half the battle. And that's when you're recuperating in sleep. But yes, where was I? I was talking about 5G, wasn't I? Like I say, the risk levels, 650 millivolts, risk level 4. Now, pregnant women and children shouldn't be in that level for any long, shouldn't be exposed to that for any long periods of time at all, really. They should be down in risk level 1, because obviously the fetus causes miscarriages. It's all biological, this stuff. It affects the calcium pathways, and the DNA gets down to a biological, gets down to the DNA levels. And this is where they've got the paradigm wrong. It gets down to Coulomb's law, which is a, you remember Ohm, he made Ohm's law. Well, Coulomb's law, he was around in the 1800s. I can't remember when Ohm's law was around. I should do, because he was part of my studies in electrical principles. Ohm's law, yeah. I get you. A lot of people at school will probably remember that as well, because it was studied in schools, wasn't it? I don't know if it still is, but yeah. So yeah, risk level 1 is 0 to 10 millivolts. Now, there's electro-hypersensitive people who'll feel that, and they don't like even being in that. It gives them headaches, and they don't feel good. They like to be away from it. Of course, then it goes up through the levels, and it's 10 to 100, then 100 to 650, I think, and then 650 and above, which is risk level 4. And yes. Anyways, I might be approaching my afternoon siesta time. But like I say, I'm making an appointment at the moment to see Bob Seeley and speak to him about 5G, which is, like I said, a military weapon. It was developed on the battlefield. It was used in Iraq. It's in the phased array microwave radiation. It's used in the radar on the Navy's ships. It's actually, once it's brought in, if it is rolled out, these twigs, these antennae on the top of the LED street lights can be used to 3D map your house. 3D map, I said there. I tend to lose my breath a little bit because my breathing techniques are not that brilliant at the moment. Yeah, it's just like, 3D map your house. It's like looking at an architect's drawing of your house without the walls in it, and that's what they can do with this. It's beyond belief, really. But that's another thing that can be done. Smart meters are not a good thing, as people are realising. They're wireless, so they're giving it out. You don't want to get too close to one of them. You don't want to get too close to an ordinary meter, really. But this is the state of play, my friends. And I've probably said enough for one session, if you've been patient enough to get right through this. I could go on for hours talking about stuff. Not only 5G, which I'm just getting into in a big way now, because it's so close, 2020. We're already halfway through 2018, so you're talking about 18 months to 2020. We must get a moratorium on this until it's properly. This is globally as well, the Internet of Things are connecting everything. We all know about the removal of 70,500 trees in Sheffield for 5G. They've been trying to say it's not when we know it is now. Sheffield Council have recently put in a bid for 5G. We know about Network Rail taking millions of trees down up and down their rail lines for this is autonomous trains, isn't it? They are trains without even a driver. That spells disaster, doesn't it? And the signalling systems, of course. Now the Victorians put all these trees in for a reason. In the towns, it was to take the smog out, the real, the industrial smogs out, of the air and put more oxygen in. They didn't want a workforce who was, you know, dying of cancer and stuff. And that's what them trees are for in the streets of Sheffield. It's got a name, hasn't it? The Green City or something, Sheffield. Can't remember exactly what now, but it won't be for much longer. I think they've held up on it at the moment. Amy, the actual company who's taken the trees out. Yes. But those trees were put in for a reason, you know. They're using the excuse. It's not helping with repairing the roads. Maybe a few of them are interfering with the roads, but not 17,500, that's for sure. And then there's because Victorians knew what they're doing. They put these trees along the embankments and the railways. That keeps your embankments together, you know. Crazy. This government and what they allow on happening. You see, they're under the thumbs, really, of the corporates, and that's what it's all about. It's all about money these days, and I think a lot of people realise this. So it's time we started doing something about it, because our sons and daughters, and especially the next generation, are going to be right up to the necks in it if we don't get all this stopped. And I'll be on this case till my dying day, I'm afraid. And I'm not dead yet, that's for sure. I mean, this might be a blessing in disguise that I have been grounded and I have to slow down. I'm on Benefit Street now, which is I'm on that road, which is like, you know, this ESA thing, I can make as much money in 4 hours as you get for 2 weeks. Allowance on ESA, it's ridiculous, you know. But there you go. I'm hoping there's other benefits too. There's a housing benefit and what's known as PIP, Personal Independence Payment. Now, when my wife was ill with a stroke and I was looking after her, this was known as mobility allowance. They've changed things. And then that's another subject, isn't it? Universal credit. And of course, the other one, what's coming in, the global one, I forget what they call it now, but that's another story as well, which is actually will take control of people's property, never mind anything else. There you go. They're saying everyone's going to be equal, everyone's going to have the living wage, whatever it is, I forget what it is now, but it's another subject. Yeah. So anyway, I'm signing off now. This has gone on for half an hour. If you got this far, well done. I'll catch up with you soon somewhere. That's for sure. Bye-bye. Oh, by the way, if anybody wants to come and see Mr. Seeley with me, who's interested, it's preferably somebody who's in the political or medical forum, and who might have some knowledge on the subject too, please feel free to contact me. Okay, bye-bye. The appointment will be in September sometime, so it'll be a while yet. Yeah, take care now, everybody. I love you all. Bye-bye. There's a wee bird in the sky.